Our fighter verse for this week will be James chapter 1, verse 5. This verse kind of made me smile this morning because we alluded to it last Sunday morning. And not knowing that this would pop up in my daily quiet time, I thought, how neat is that? What a surprise from God. So let's make James chapter 1, verse 5 our fighter verse for this week. It reads, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him." Now, why do we ask God for wisdom? In this context, why would we ask God for wisdom? Notice that verse 5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom. Underline that word lacks. I think that's a key word, and especially a key word to answering our question. Why would we ask God for wisdom? We ask God for wisdom because we meet trials. We meet troubles of all kinds. It's true, isn't it, that right now you are either facing trouble, going through trouble, experiencing trouble, or you have experienced trouble, or you're about to experience trouble. And so we do meet trials, we do meet troubles of all kinds all the time. But notice what is said right before verse 5, our fighter verse. Begin with verse 2 of James chapter 1. James writes, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness." I want you to make note of this. God has determined that troubles will not hinder the Christian. Troubles may slow the Christian down. Troubles may knock the Christian down. But troubles will not keep the Christian from running the race and finishing the race. If anything, the trials and troubles that we meet are meant to cause the Christian to look to God to supply all that is needed to keep on running the race and to finish the race. Notice how verse 4 ends. So that you will be lacking in nothing. See that word, lack? So, when meeting a trial, if you lack wisdom, what should you do as a Christian? The answer is, ask God. And why do we ask God for wisdom? It's so that we keep running the race. So I would ask us to join together to do this week. 1, be resolved to count the year 2021 a joy. We're only 12 days in. A lot has happened 12 days into the new year. Agree or disagree? And so we have 353 days to go. And we have no idea what is really in store in the remainder of this year. We might guess, we might brainstorm. I think we would all agree to this. In the remainder of the year, we will, either individually or together, meet trials of various kinds. We will meet troubles of various kinds. Before we meet those trials of various kinds, let's join together and be resolved to count 2021 a joy. Okay, now number 2. Be resolved then to ask God for wisdom so that we can count 2021 a joy. And remember, wisdom is going to be supplied by God so that we keep running the race, so that we finish the race. God has determined to use troubles. God has determined that troubles will not hinder the Christian. Troubles may slow down the Christian. Troubles may knock down the Christian, but troubles will not keep the Christian from running the race and finishing the race. Why is that? It's because troubles are used by God to cause us to look to Him to supply everything we need to keep running the race and finishing the race. It's why James then brings up when troubles happen, if you lack wisdom, because God has determined to supply you with everything that is needed to finish the race, to keep running the race. And if you find that you lack wisdom, really wisdom is understanding what you're going through and how to look at it and how to keep going through it. If any of you lacks wisdom, ask God. Why? So that you keep running the race. So again, friends, let's join together and this week be resolved to count 2021 a joy. And be resolved to ask God for wisdom so that we together can count 2021 a joy.